This is the Laura Ingraham Show. Raymond Arroyo sitting in for the great Laura Ingraham. We are joined online by Congresswoman Michele Bachmann. She is a Minnesota Republican, chairwoman of the House Tea Party caucus. Congressman Bachmann, thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on the Laura Ingraham Show, Raymond. It's great to talk to you.
Delighted to hear your voice. We were just playing that little snarky bite. Thanks a lot for the sound there, guys. The shot heard around the world. This has been the talk of talk radio, comedians. It was a random comment you made while in New Hampshire. And you said the first shots were fired at Concord in Lexington in this state. What happened there, Congresswoman Bachmann?
Well, I was up in New Hampshire speaking, and the marvelous thing about New Hampshire is they're still proud of that battle. They had sent a number of people from their militia down to it, and I made a mistake. I should have said Massachusetts rather than New Hampshire. But, you know, that's the way it goes, and we had a great trip, and I was glad to be able to be there.
Are you surprised by the ferocity of the criticism over this?
No, not at all, because we all know that there's a double standard in the media. And, of course, when President Obama said that there had been a tornado in Kansas and 10,000 people had been killed, that wasn't considered newsworthy when he was campaigning for president. And then he said that he was in 57 states and he was on his way to the 58th. And, of course, that wasn't considered newsworthy because, as we all know, the 3,400 members of the mainstream media are a part of the Obama press contingent. And this is just what we get. So it doesn't matter which conservative is out there. If a error is made in any way, that's what is stated. They didn't talk about the great crowds, the standing ovations, the wonderful time that we had in New Hampshire, and that is just the way that it goes. I think that's what we as conservatives understand.
Yeah, or when President Obama said the military corps were before him instead of the Marine Corps, but that too escaped coverage.
Right, it's not considered interesting. Right, it's not only if a conservative makes a misstep is it considered interesting.
Now, I want to play this little bite from you. This is from This Week, and I think it's now spelled W-E-A-K. This is Jake Tapper talking to George Will, and he's ruminating on your presidential prospects. Listen.
She's not among the serious contenders. We know who settles presidential elections. They're independent voters. And independent voters are not inflamed in the way that some of the marginal Republican candidates are.
Can you react to that, Congresswoman Bachmann?
Well, I have a great deal of respect for George F. Will, and I think what his opinion is that I have not come out and put together a team where I am seriously considering and contemplating a run for the presidency. And I have not made a decision either way, whether I am in or whether I am out. What I'm in the process of doing right now is going to the early primary states to talk to the people there that will have an awesome responsibility, because it will be about 4 states that will make the decision as to who our nominee will be. And I have not made a decision as to what I'm going to do. But
you're clearly considering it. I mean, the fact that you're visiting these battleground states and these early primary states, you're clearly considering a presidential run, yes?
It's something that is potentially on the table, but I haven't made a decision whether or not to do it. What I'm trying to focus on in these states actually are the larger issues.
Given your opposition and long-stated opposition and criticism of the president's health care bill, do you believe that this will in any way hobble the candidacy of Mitt Romney in that he was passed a similar bill in his own state?
You know, again, I'm not focused on politics. I'm focused on the policy and trying to get the country turned back around. What we do know about Obamacare is that it doesn't matter what policy that states put into place, Obamacare will trump any state policy. That's wrong. That will take away the freedom from the states to implement the kind of health care they want for their citizens. That's why it's so imperative that right now people who are listening call their member of Congress and urge them to vote no on the continuing resolution. I encourage your listeners to go to my Facebook site, Michele Bachmann Facebook. I've got all sorts of information that I'd like people to be able to see about the devastating impacts of Obamacare, this out-of-control spending and deficits. And they can go there to get the latest information. But this is a crucial vote that members will be taking today. And I encourage your listeners to weigh in and call their member of Congress while there's yet time. We should be voting on this sometime early this afternoon today.